What's going on, guys? Papsy here. Today's topic is going to be about staying motivated via schooling, higher education, things of that nature. And I'm not talking about being distracted by things like TV, internet, video games, things like that. I'm more or less talking about being distracted by friends and family members, because those tend to be the things that influence us and affect our lives the most, whether or not we want them to. We always have the choice of letting our friends influence us and how they play a role in our lives, but we don't always have a choice with family members. And what I mean by that is you can't really control about who you live with or how your family members act, how they support your goals and things of that nature. And we have to take that into consideration because there's so many different reasons why family members or different families don't want their kids going to college. And many of you may not experience that, but it is a reality. I mean, we're growing up in a generation where our parents or college in general really wasn't something that was needed or required to have a better future. And it's definitely an eye-opener to most people right now because we're in an economic situation that isn't that great. It's definitely alluring when our country or when the world is in a perspiring economic situation where everything's going well. It's really alluring to see that really good, high-paying job with a lot of hours right out of high school. I mean, you graduate high school, you can get a job making $10, $12 an hour, working 40 hours a week. I mean, I definitely understand why some people go straight to work. One of the reasons a lot of people don't know about people going straight to work is the fact that their family members don't always feel, or they feel offended by you going to college. And what I mean by this is there's a lot of family members that are basically saying, we didn't graduate high school, or we graduated high school and we started working right away. Why can't you do that? Do you think you're better than us? And what families don't understand is it's not that they don't, they're not trying to say that they feel better than you. It's just about, basically, we're not in the same time. You need to put yourself in the best situation as possible, and education is one of those things that can do that. And sometimes they just take that the wrong way. It's like, well, I had kids out of high school and I started a family and I went to work. You need to do the same thing. It's really hard to do that, and it's just one of those things. I don't know. I mean, you can't really fight with those people, and sometimes it's even the case where your family, if you really do care about your family, they need you to help support the family, buying groceries, paying the bills, things like that. And in a way, I can kind of understand that because your family does need you, supposedly. I mean, they really, in order to support the whole family as a whole, but they're not really taking into consideration your future, your goals, what you have in mind. And that's what I really feel is what's wrong with today's society. There's too many needy people, too many people not really being selfish enough. I mean, personally, I could give a fuck. I'm gonna do what's best for me and just not really worry about the family, mainly because if they put themselves in that fucked up situation, that's on them. I'm not gonna risk my whole future, everything that I want to accomplish, because they're relying on me to take care of them. And that just doesn't seem to make much sense to me. But going back to the whole school topic, I'm going to do a whole nother video on what's wrong with the schooling system, what needs to be fixed, things like that. I'm more or less just trying to think of ways to keep people motivated, because school is definitely not something fun. Like I said before, one of the biggest reasons people tend not to stay in school or continue with school is the financial reasons. I mean, not everyone can afford to go to college. Not everyone can afford to finish high school. Some people, need to get that job to pay for food, or, their family situations are just so unbearable that they need to get away from that, and it's completely understandable. And for those that don't get financial aid, or for those that have to completely fund the situation on their own, it can definitely be overwhelming, or it can be too much to handle. So the biggest thing is you have to start thinking long term. It's not going to help you to make short-term decisions, because it's only going to get you through that quick period of time. And what I mean by that is a lot of people tend to choose or want to go away for college. And what I mean by away for college, for example, I live in California, so if I say I want to go away for college, that would mean like going to Maine or New York or something like that. And I mean, If you get accepted, if you get a scholarship, if it's paid for, if your parents are willing to do that, sure, go ahead. I completely understand that. But if you're going to have to be taking out student loans and working and paying for it all on your own, it might not be the best decision. You could choose a place that's a lot closer, hopefully near your hometown, or at least somewhere that in the end, when you do graduate, you're not looking at, thousands of dollars in debt. I mean, I had teachers in high school that explained this to me. They were 35, they had already been teaching for 5 years, and they still have like $20,000 to $30,000 in debt. Probably something that they will never pay off, and it's definitely scary when you think about that, because if you have $30,000 in debt, it's really not going to allow you to get the full experience of life that you may want. You're not going to be able to have that, perfect home or that really nice car that you want, things like that. So it's definitely something to take into consideration before just, making rash decisions and going out to any college that you so choose to. Pick me, for example. Let's see, I got accepted to Cal State University of Bakersfield, which isn't that great it definitely gives you the education. A lot of people where I'm from look down on it since it is a Cal State in our hometown, but it's a good college. It gives you your degrees, what you need to do. I also got accepted to Cal Poly Pomona, both right out of high school, but they're colleges and things that I simply couldn't afford it. It didn't make rational sense to graduate with $30,000 in debt, because I would have to pay that off, and that would take a long time, considering that by the time you're finished with college, most people are usually in the ranges of 21 to 25, and you're looking to get your own car for the first time, your own house or apartment or what have you. So not only do you have all this school debt, but you're trying at the same time to basically start off your whole life. So that $30,000 can really hurt you in the long run. But you just kind of have to put it into an equation-based comparison system. Your freedom from parental reign versus having to work for the rest of your life to pay that off or what have you. I know a lot of people that their main reason for leaving or going to college is just to get away from their family members, and that might not be, the whole real reason to do something like that, but you don't always have a choice. So, but with school, when you're going to school, or those of you going to school or planning on soon, you really have to keep an open mind when you're taking all of these classes. The reason I say that is every professor you have, or most professors, I guess I really shouldn't even say most professors, I'll just say some professors, and basically all of your teachers growing up, have always taught in a way that kind of presented or basically taught you their own political views or their own influence that they have gained on your education. For example, you'll have teachers that are really right-winged, really conservative, and that's the way they teach when they, for example, a history teacher. I could name numerous history teachers growing up where things were right for a reason, because that was based on their personal opinion. And I don't necessarily feel that that's the right way to learn, but at the same time, they are the teacher, and what you have to do is just take into context what they're teaching you and go off of that. Learn what you can and take the experience and basically just mold it, and hopefully you can take another class that a teacher teaches a different way, or you can do your own research. And I think that's the biggest thing, is you literally have to be able to do your own research to establish your own opinion. You can't just base what you've learned on what they have to say, because like I said, what they have to say is usually based upon their life experiences and their education and their personal beliefs. So it's not always the right thing. So keep an open mind. That'll definitely help you stay motivated. It won't get you frustrated, because I'm not here to tell you how to believe or what to believe in. I'm just telling you there's going to be people when you go to college or even in high school that are going to disagree with you. And there's no reason to get worked up or fight about it, because it's not going to go anywhere. It's just going to be a waste of your time. So keep an open mind. Understand that people are going to think different, and basically do your own research or keep your own beliefs and just stay on that point, because there's, like I said, there's real no reason to get worked up over it. If you're constantly fighting with yourself or being frustrated by the way people believe, or it's not the same way as you, it's really going to be a long road, and it's going to be really complicated. It's just going to make things harder on yourself. So One of the biggest things that I think is really funny is, remember when you're going to college that you're going for an education. A lot of people's, I know a lot of friends because, like I said, I live out here in California, and those of you that are not from California, Santa Barbara is one of the biggest, like, supposedly party schools out there, and if you go there during, Halloween, it's a really big party school. Everyone's drinking every weekend. And it's funny, it's because for me, if I go to college, I pick a college that's going to give me the best information I possibly can to achieve my goals and put me in a better situation later on in life. I'm not going to college to party. I'm not going to college to have a good time. If I can do those things while keeping my education at the same time, yeah, that's okay. But I hear so many people base their opinion on choosing a college solely on how good the parties are, how many girls are there, how hot the girls are, and that, again, that's just not thinking for your future. So I don't know. And I mean, they open their doors to everyone. It's just something that you have to keep in mind. I don't know, it can be complicated, but who knows really what goes through people's minds in those senses. But I mean, sometimes life gets hectic. We want to change. We want to get away from something. We want a little bit different. And college is definitely one of those things that gives you all those life experiences in a short period of time. You definitely learn a lot more than reading a book or being educated on that your major or that topic that you're planning on learning. So, like I said, keep an open mind. Keep your goals, your everything straight, and you should do pretty fine. Like I said, not everyone has the same situations. Not everyone has the same luck of what they can do, but in all honesty, it's all about what you can do with what you have. So, I mean, I really feel for the people that aren't always offered the same opportunity to go to college or can't just, particularly do it. But hopefully one day everyone will be given the equal chances. But hopefully you guys like this commentary. Let me know what you guys think about it, how you guys feel on the topic of going to college, how to stay motivated. Those of you that have gone through the experiences, be sure to let the younger crowd know what they can look forward to, what's going to help keep them motivated, because it's our goal to help them in the future. But until next time, I'm Pepsi, and